From the moment you were born, if not before, you were unconsciously put in a box, not just by your caregivers, but by the world that you were born into. As soon as your guardian found out your gender, toys and paints specific to what your gender would like are selected. Your heterosexual future and your career plans among peers are discussed. Some, if not all of the ideas presented in this video will give you the urge to resist them. Before you do, however, I encourage you to ask yourself why you want to resist them. Is it because you find that there are no grounds for this theory, or instead is it because you're being challenged to question everything you've ever been taught to believe in? The idea of having an inner self or a core identity or a soul is a given, right? As though we pop out of the womb and we have this personality that we're going to be true to forever. Coming from an anti-essentialist position, however, Judith Butler asserts that there is no such thing as fixed identity. Instead, it changes from time and from place. It would be absurd to think that we articulate ourselves the exact same way in every social setting. Butler talks about the flattening out of gender identities and how we've come to see it as a site of two binary oppositional identities rather than multiple ones. For instance, she discusses the political problems feminism encounters in its failure to recognize women as a site of multiple identities, letting it denote a common identity with common problems, as though all women around the world are concerned with and are facing the same issues. She also wants to challenge the widely accepted and naturalized notion that gender is a fixed identity, predetermined by biological sex. Instead, biology is an alibi for the cultural construction of meaning around gender identity. Gender, for Butler, like every other identity, is performative, and we simply feel as though it is a natural state of being because of the discourses that surround it. Discourses are norms, expectations, ideas, beliefs, and essentially ideologies surrounding a cultural object defined by sets of reoccurring statements. Discourses assist us in what Foucault called social sorting, basically who gets excluded and who gets included. It's a process of categorizing people. With gender, we are presented two possible options, a binary opposition, male, female. And those who don't conform are seen as a problem or developmental failure. These binary oppositions are seen as mutually exclusive, where one understands being one's gender to the extent that they are not the other. These gender identity boundaries are then enforced by social laws.
Alright, so...
Oh, no. One of the girls will do that.
Hey, Miss Adams.
Hey, Massey. Oh, no, Massey. We'll save that for the girls. Here you go.
So that concludes today's presentation. Hand in your reports at the end of the day.
Great initiative, Massey.
All right, so that's the business sales for the week. That concludes my presentation. So I want all of you to hand in your reports at the end of the day.
Well, Megan, don't you think that's a little bossy? These two oppositions are then seen as the manifestation of heterosexual desire, where one must inherently want the other gender because it is simply so. A twist in language and grammar suggests and supports that we are a given gender. This leads to an unproblematic and naturalized conclusion that we are a gender, rather than that we perform a gender or do gender. Judith Butler says, identity is performatively constituted by the very expressions that are said to be its results. Through citation, essentially meaning that we're borrowing, and repetition of cultural discourses, we reproduce these ideologies of gender within ourselves so unconsciously and so often that it seems like a natural state of being. The reproduction of these ideologies within ourselves create the illusion that one certain gender is predisposed to be sexually attracted to the other gender, is supposed to act, think, and behave in a certain way. If you're still finding it difficult to wrap your head around heterosexual gender norms being a construction, think about their replication in non-heterosexual frames. For instance, the butch or the femme lesbian, or the fact that people always want to know if there's someone more masculine or feminine in a gay couple. Here, it's pretty easy to see that heterosexual gender concepts are being applied to a non-heterosexual frame, illustrating the social construction of heterosexual gender concepts themselves. Being a gender is an effect of the cultural configurations that define it. Gender is a repeated stylization of the body, Repeated acts within a highly regulated frame that takes shape over time to produce the appearance of a natural state of being. With this, Judith Butler, and I by extension, invite you to make gender trouble. We have the power to subvert and displace the naturalized notions of gender that support heterosexist, masculine, hegemonic power. If identity is not fixed and instead changes from time and from place, we do not only have the agency, but the responsibility to contest naturalized heterosexual gender concepts. We may not overthrow these power systems, but we can challenge them. Butler urges us to confuse the boundaries that try to keep these gender binaries in place by posing as essential foundations of identity. You and I have the power to make gender trouble. You and I have the power to re-articulate these categories. So go out and do it. Was that a guy or a girl?
I don't know.
Oh my god, that guy totally went into the women's washroom.
Looks like you need some help. Let me get that for you.
Excuse me? I'm actually a car mechanic. I am well capable of doing this myself, but thanks. Oh, that's such a sweet baby. What's his or her name?
Oh, thank you. It's Jamie, actually.
You and your husband must be so proud.
My partner and I are very proud, actually. Yeah, thank you.
I didn't catch that. Is it a girl or a boy?
To answer your question, we're raising the baby gender neutral.
Hey, so you're waiting for a special someone to get their makeup done today?
No, I thought I'd rather have a makeover myself.
That's hilarious. No, but seriously, who's getting their makeup done today? Challenge people in their boundaries. Make them uncomfortable. Make them think. Make gender trouble.